Welcome to elenasbarre low impact full body workouts. On this channel you find different format workouts that will help you to tone up your muscles, improve your posture, gain overall strength, endurance, balance and flexibility. Check more classes on elenasbarre Patreon. Join us for my crazy piano practice on Sundays. We also talk about controversial topics that can trigger you. You participate in our conversations voluntarily at your own risk. Read the disclaimer in the description box. If you don't want to be mentally or physically challenged, I suggest that you skip this video. Thank you so much for your understanding. Here you go, guys. Welcome back to elenasbarre low impact full body workouts. We are almost full house today with Melody joining us. Hi, dear. Yeah, great to have you. And then Emma is here. Okay, ladies, while I still remember, Emma has recently sent me the videos that she was doing with her Kundalini practice. And I was wondering, while Melody is still here, shall we do a class together again? Because it's okay. I don't know when. Melody, do you have time tomorrow? Maybe we will record a class.
I'm trying to think. I might. I have to double check in my calendar.
Okay. Well, you tell me
Like
later
I have something
today.
going on, but it's not until like later in the afternoon. I feel like.
Cool, because if we put the Kundalini class for you guys, and I suggest that you check the Kundalini Kriya practice with Emma that we did a few months ago, right? Was it a few months ago? Almost a year, I think. Yeah. It's been a while since we've done it, and I think it would be so cool. But Emma, please be kind to us.
Yeah, I won't do what I sent you. Don't worry.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Okay, we have Accounting Ship today joining us. Hi, Accounting Ship. Good to see you. Yes. And guys, we will have to wrap up earlier today because I'm headed to our parents-in-law house to help my mother-in-law with the cookies. My husband signed me up for this mission. And so we will have to finish it sooner today, but we will talk about sexual market value versus the self-worth, especially how women are conflating it. And I wish I had my presentation in front of me, but something happened to it. I couldn't find it on my computer. I might have accidentally deleted it. So if anything, we will resume this session next time, okay? We will talk about the same topic because it's a very interesting topic. And yeah, feel free to tell us what you think in the comments and join us for live conversation today. It's going to be mostly talking, and maybe we will also listen to some stuff and debunk it because I do have it on my phone. Okay, I do have those on my phone that I can share with you. I don't want to show them to you so that those people don't get more clout than they already have. But yeah, we will listen to some stuff. And in the presentation, I actually found a study where they were analyzing the behavior of the students and how this affected their change in their perception about themselves. You know, there is psychology of perception, psychology of motivation. I call them like woo-woo. I know that some people are really into it. They do the manifestations and what are you saying? Were you saying something?
No.
Okay.
No, I think it was just like an echo thing.
Okay. Yeah, so I did put that study on the presentation, but I can't seem to find that file on my computer. So maybe I'll have to redo it. Or I will be able to share the article with you. So let's take a moment here. We are going to look at the article. And it's a bummer if I deleted that presentation. It was nice. Okay, let's see. What is self-worth? And how do we build it? So let's look at this one. Can you see it, ladies? Can you see it?
Yep.
Cool. So we're going to start from the beginning. This article actually refers to the study. Maybe it's this one. Maybe it's another one. Hold on. Okay. It has nothing to do with self-esteem, compassion, self-acceptance, self-respect, self-confidence, self-love, self-care, and so on. So okay, let's just scroll through. What is the meaning of self-worth and self-value? Okay, and that's psychology of self-worth. What is self-worth theory? Yeah, this is the one that I had on my presentation. Good. What determines self-worth and 3 examples of healthy self-worth? Okay, I have to give you a heads up that this article is probably not the best resource out there because not in the studies it says that self-worth derives from those factors that they are mentioning in the study. And this is how they twist it, you know, and add some feminist spin to it. So let's keep going here. How to find self-worth and well. Okay, let's begin here. What is the meaning of self-worth and self-value? Self-worth and self-value are interchangeable terms. They are related terms and often used interchangeably. Having a sense of self-worth means that you value yourself, and having a sense of self-value means that you are worthy. The differences between the two are minimal enough that both terms can be used to describe the same general concept. Okay, so while self-value and self-worth are interchangeably used, they mean the same thing. These terms are not the same as sexual market value. Okay, just to make it clear. Okay, so here you go. They are providing 2 definitions here. Self-worth is defined by Merriam-Webster as a feeling that you are a good person who deserves to be treated with respect. And you see here, deserves. It's based on the innate privilege. Only women deserve to be treated with respect. Men can be treated like whatever. Because they don't deserve anything. They must earn their respect, right? So on the other hand, self-value is more behavioral than emotional, more about how you act towards what you value, including yourself, than how you feel about yourself compared to others. Okay, let's gaze at this self-worth theory. I'm trying to okay, self-worth. Okay, it's not that interesting. Hold on. I'm trying to get to the specific point here. Self-confidence. Good. Some people relate self-worth with self-confidence. They say that, oh, if you value yourself, you will present yourself in a confident way. You know, so it's in the same way. There are subtle but significant differences between self-worth and self-confidence here. Self-confidence is not an overall evaluation of yourself, but a feeling of confidence and competence in more specific areas. For example, you could have a high amount of self-worth, but low self-confidence when it comes to extreme sports, certain subjects in school, or your ability to speak a new language. Yeah, it's related to ability, and this is where that research that they did, that study that they did on students, was based on. So it was performance. It was based on performance and ability and effort, and I think there were 4 factors that were involved in the process of self-value. Anyway, it's not necessary to have high sense of self-confidence in every area of your life. There are naturally some things that you will simply not be very good at, and other areas in which you will excel. So this one is related to that ability, we were talking about it. Do you remember, Melody? When some people have the tendency to be good at certain things, and it has something to do with how their brain is structured, you know. So some people might be better in math. It doesn't mean that they can just rely on their talent or gift. They still need to work on it, but it takes them less time to be good at it versus the other people, you know. So they have the inclination towards certain things. So the important thing is to have self-confidence in the activities in your life that matter to you and a high sense of self-worth overall. Okay, here the psychology of self-worth. What is self-worth theory? So now we are coming back to Covington, the guy who initiated this study. The self-worth theory posits that an individual's main priority in life is to find self-acceptance, and that self-acceptance is often found through achievement. Yes, in turn, achievement is often found through competition with others. You see, you compete, and if you win, you think of yourself as a competitive person who has a competent skill in comparison to the other people. But what feminism is trying to do, it's trying to equalize everyone. Oh, everyone is so special and unique. And when everyone is special and unique, nobody is special and unique, right? So thus the logical conclusion is that competing with others can help us feel like we have impressive achievements under our belt, which then makes us feel proud of ourselves and enhances our acceptance of others. I wouldn't go that far, but like just acceptance of yourself, really, you know. Oh, and here, yeah, it kind of so this article again, guys, I suggest that you read the actual research paper, and I have it. This is just a summary, but then it has the feminist twist to it. Okay, so here you go. The theory holds that there are four main elements of the self-worth model. It's ability, effort, performance, remember, and self-worth. So the first three interact with each other to determine one's level of self-worth. One's ability and effort predictably have a big impact on performance, and all three contribute to one's feeling of worth and value. So all of this ability, effort, and performance contribute to your self-value. So while this theory represents good understanding of self-worth as we tend to experience it, it's unfortunate that we place so much emphasis on our achievements. Well, where else would you place them? Like, honestly, aside from competing and winning against others, there are many factors that can contribute to our sense of self-worth. So this is why, guys, this is why I suggest you actually go and read that research paper instead of the spins that these articles that summarize the study present to you. Okay, so what determines self-worth here? According to the self-worth theory, self-worth is based mostly on our self-evaluated abilities and our performance in one or more activities that we deem valuable. However, people commonly use other yardsticks to measure their self-worth. Here are 5 of the top factors that people use to measure and compare their own self-worth to the worth of others. Okay, I want to see what you ladies think about this. Okay, so first, appearance, whether measured by the number on the scale, 1 to 10, right? The size of clothing worn or the kind of attention received by others. The net worth. This can mean income, material possessions, financial assets, or all of the above. And then 3, who you know, your social circle, your social network. Some people judge their own value and the value of others by their status and what important and influential people they know. Then what you do, your career. We often judge others by what they do. For example, as stockbroker is often considered more successful and valuable than janitor, or a teacher, because he makes more money, right? So what you achieve, as noted earlier, we frequently use achievements to determine someone's worth, whether it's our own worth or someone else's, such as success in business, scores on the sets, or placement in a marathon or other athletic challenge. So this is based on the study by Maureen in 2017. And then author Stephanie Jade Woon is on a mission to correct misunderstandings and misperceptions about self-worth. Instead of listing all of the factors that go into self-worth, she outlines that she outlines what doesn't determine your self-worth. Okay, your to-do list, your job, your social media following, your age, other people, as noted above. It doesn't matter what people think or what other people have done or accomplished. Do you hear a feminist talking here? Your personal satisfaction and fulfillment are much more important than what others are thinking, saying, or doing. And this is why we have a generation of very narcissistic, entitled, and ignorant people out there, because everybody is just so focused on their own feeling. They ignore completely what people say about them. So you see how they are twisting the research paper, the study, and adding the feminist spin to it, that everyone is special and unique, and then your grades are irrelevant. We all have different strengths and weaknesses, and some of us are simply not cut out for class. This has no bearing on our values as people, and blah, blah, blah. So they're trying to take it away from the merit, from the objective merit, and place it on your emotions, your feelings, and what you think about yourself. You see this, right?
I think that's a big difference between like the idea of like self-worth and like value to the community as a whole. Because I mean, self-worth is, it's going to be subjective because it's self-worth.
Yeah.
It's your idea of what makes you worthy. So it can be anything you want because it's your own self-subjective assessment. And yeah, I think there are obviously like SAT scores. I don't even know if colleges look at them anymore. I've heard a lot of them don't, but I mean, there's a reason for that because it kind of demonstrates, and like, not that if you do horribly, you have like no place in society, but you're probably not going to become like a financial advisor or, you know, a statistician, like someone that, you know, really needs to do well at math, like to contribute to society in that way. Like there's certainly other ways that you can contribute to society still. But yeah, I feel like whenever you get into like self-assessments, it's always going to be super subjective, and it's just kind of an open field. Anything goes. Whatever you say is like what gives you value. It's like, well, you're the one making the rules, so
right. You're so right, Melody. And this is very, very subjective. There is no way to determine. There are some people who are objectively evaluating what they know, what they can do, right? But then it's coming back to this for your performance, your achievements, your efforts, right? They determine your value. But then she kind of debunks it all, you see. So we have like the theory first, right? The study that they did, and then she said, oh, you know, by the way, this is not so relevant here. And then she points out here that your relationship status, whether flying solo, casually dating, or in a committed relationship, your value is exactly the same. Your relationship status doesn't alter your worth. That's interesting. What do you think about it?
well, again, that's like subjective, and then like the other people come into play. So I mean, if you're you know, in a committed marriage, like if they're decent, like other people, they're probably not going to be pursuing you. You know, they'll be like, oh, off the market.
Yep.
So in that sense, like you don't have as much like potential value to other people who are looking for a relationship if you're like in one and off the market. So I mean, it does. But again, that's like subjective, like
It
based on
is.
like not only you, but like other people interested, I guess, or potentially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it matters what your status is. If you okay, I'm going to make some enemies here. If you if you are a promiscuous woman, let's say, right, and you choose to be promiscuous, you choose to be single, it does impact your value. Maybe in your brain, because you've been brainwashed and you were listening to the people who were like, oh, as long as you are happy, as long as you are thinking well of yourself, people should evaluate you based on how well you think of yourself. But this is so wrong. People can still judge you based on your actions, based on your achievements, based on your efforts, based on your performance. So if people see you posting naked pictures on social media, people are going to judge you. And it doesn't matter what you think about yourself. And here she actually goes into describing healthy self-worth, just for the cracks of it. Let's look at it. Okay, let's look at it. It's just so funny. Okay, I'm going to scroll through here. You can read the whole article, guys. Okay, let's look at here. Note, there is a difference between evaluating actions and evaluating personal worth. We can learn from our mistakes and grow as individuals by assessing our efforts. However, by evaluating our personal worth, we can threaten our well-being. Oh, really? Okay. So here you go. Self-reflection questions on your perceived worth. In which situations do you tend to compare yourself with others? In everything. Okay, let's look at this, ladies. What would you say?
Yeah, all the time.
All the time, right? In what areas are you most critical of yourself? In what areas? Well, I guess for me, it's fitness, right? It's music. It's what else? Like awareness, red pill content, right? It could be anything like cooking. You look at somebody how they cook, right, and you you realize that you're not a great cook, right? In which situations were you pretending to be someone you are not, so others would like and accept you? Huh, that's a good question, actually.
I'm always myself.
Yeah. Like be honest with people. If you are not the best, people are going to figure you out. And this is where people get in trouble. They think that they can lie their way. And trust me, smart people, they can ask you a single question and they can see how in depth your knowledge about certain topic is, or how much you suck really in that area. So don't pretend somebody you are not. When do you feel like your sense of self-worth increases? Oh, we should ask this question to the women who are cloud chasers on social media. Okay, and see what they respond. When do you feel like your sense of self-worth increases? Every time somebody likes a picture, likes a video, and then it kind of feels into their delusion about themselves that they are worthy and valuable. Yeah. What is the thing you fear the most that people would say of you? Yeah, and this explains why if somebody disagrees with how they behave, how they act, they report you, or they completely block you. They don't want to listen to you. This is the fear that people wouldn't agree with them and people would say bad things about them. When do you feel most insecure? Well, that one they could probably, and this is on positivepsychology.com. And here, examples of healthy self-worth. Let's look at this. It's just for fun, okay? You might be thinking, okay, I know what does and doesn't and shouldn't determine self-worth, but what does healthy self-worth really look like? Bill, let's get to the example, is not a great student. He gets mostly B's and C's. Even when he speaks a great deal of time studying, he didn't get a great score on his SATs, and he is an average reader, a struggling writer, and nobody's idea of a mathematician.
They're really selling him, aren't they?
Yeah, I know, right? And then listen to this, ladies, listen. Even though Bill wishes he had better grades, he still feels pretty good about himself. Well, of course, he's a loser and he feels good about himself. This is what they are selling here. Be a loser, guys. Be a loser. Okay? He knows that grades aren't everything and that he's just as valuable a person as his straight A friends. Well, I know that, okay, looking at the college grades, maybe the college grades are not like the best descriptor of your character and how successful you will be in the future, right? I've met a lot of people who were getting C's and they became very successful in life. And I met some students who were A students and their life kind of went down the drain, right? And they didn't succeed as much. But still, what it tells here that, okay, it's perfectly acceptable to be a loser in our society. You see? And this kind of kills all the incentive for people to try and do better. You see? Bill has a high sense of self-worth and a realistic view of himself and his abilities.
It doesn't say like anything that, like, I could understand if they're like, he sucks at school, but like he's a really hard worker and he's like, as a young kid, he started up this nonprofit that like did all this good for his community. And he's like a super fit, like, star athlete. It's just like, they're like, this guy sucks, but he feels good about himself. It's like, yeah, obviously, like, I suck at sports. I've never been an athlete, but like, I still like try to stay fit. I understand, like, I'm never going to be a basketball player, but that doesn't mean that I can't, like, work on my like strength and endurance and like cardiovascular ability and like still be able to, hike and like do hard manual labor and like, use my body to its capability, which obviously is not like football or basketball, but it's like I'm still trying. I'm not just like, oh well, I suck at sports, I guess I'm just gonna sit on the couch all day and feel good about myself.
Yep. Let's stop it for a second. We will get to the other example. Just 1 second. I want to see if Sheep. Oh, we have so many comments from Sheep. This is what I was suspecting. Every time I open a slide, it's not that I'm ignoring your comments on purpose, guys. I'm sorry. I just can't look at multiple screens at the same time. So every time I open an article and we are reading something, I can't see your comments. Okay, so let's see here. Achievements. Okay. Who needs those? We are all perfect just for being us. Yes, I know, right? Isn't it the point of the article there to make you feel good about yourself? Okay, the next one. We missed one of the self-delusion. I know, Ship. This is what we are really drooling on here.
Isn't there another one? Selfish.
Oh, selfish. Right. Selfish. I know.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, I think I know like 2 financial advisors, but I mean, yeah, they're probably not like the smartest people I know, but like they can like, kind of they can work with numbers better than like a first grader, I'd say. At least.
He says, translated from feminist to English. Yeah, this is what we are doing here, effectively. Okay. Anytime I get out of bed in the morning, I'm pretending to be someone I'm not. Let me go back to sleep. I'm like, okay, let me go back to sleep. Being a sheep. Yeah, I know, right? So, does sheep pretend to be a human, or you pretend to be a sheep? Poor Bill, not even smart enough to know he's a failure. Right? Right?
Well, he's
Yeah.
accepting of it.
He accepts that he's a failure. Yeah, and this is something that um who was it who was saying this? Maybe Paul from Common Man podcast, or maybe it was Glenn. Somebody in the Red Pill community was pointing out that it's okay to be a failure, and this is what they teach men today. Now accept yourself. The same feminist logic applied on men. And then we are surprised, where are all the good men? Where are the strong, stoic men out there? Well, guess what? Men are not perfect. They are falling for the same misleading messages that women do. Yeah, what do we expect from men? Guys are confused. Like, women on one end, they want strong, strong, rational, masculine, stoic men with traditional values. But then men consume the same kind of content, which is the feminist content that tells them, oh, just accept your failures and love yourself the way for what you are. You see? Okay, let's get back to the article, guys. I'm going to be coming back and forth with these ones, okay, so that we don't miss your comments. Cool. So next, let's consider Amy. Amy has a wide variety of interests, including marathons, attending book club, playing weekly trivia with her friends, and meeting new people. Amy is not particularly good at running and has never placed in a marathon. She is a slow reader and frequently misses the symbolism and themes that her fellow book club members pick up on. She only answers about 10% of the trivia questions correctly and leans on her friends' knowledge quite often. Finally, she loves to talk to new people, but sometimes she gets blown off and ignored. You see, and it tells that, oh, being ignored is a bad thing. But what if a person is completely worthless and doesn't bring any value? So, like, let's celebrate him or her, right? Despite all of this, she still believes that she is worthy and valuable. You see? Oh my goodness. She knows that her worth as a human is not dependent on her ability to run, read, play trivia, or make new friends. Whether she is great, terrible, or somewhere in between, at each of her vast range of chosen activities, she shows she is still worthy of happiness, fulfillment, and love. Here you go. Here you go, guys. What do you think about it?
For Amy, I feel like all these examples, they're just like pointing out like the worst things about them, be like, this is this person. It's like, surely they have some things that they're good at that, like,
yeah, they're not pointing those out, are
even
they?
if it's just like, there's a group in town. It's like a Kiwanis club for like developmentally disabled adults, and so like none of them are like pro athletes or like mathematicians, but like, they're doing all this great community service and like, filling up bags of dog and cat food to like deliver to shut-ins who can't get out to the store to buy food for their pets, and planting flowers and like beautifying the parks and stuff, and they're like doing all these things which like contribute, you know, really beneficially to society. And so it's like, yeah, I mean, they have value because they're contributing to society, but like these people, it's just like, here's a list of things that they suck at. No indication of like how or if they're contributing to their community at all. And it's just like, but they still have like such great self-value. It's like, well, what's the basis? Like, you don't have to have natural talent to be valuable. You don't have to be a prodigy in anything, but you have to do something that the community you're in like deems valuable and like, you know, that enhances life for, you know, others. I don't know. It just seems like weird examples. I feel like they could have done better.
It is. When I was reading it for the first time on Monday, I prepared the presentation for you guys on Monday. I was just laughing because I was like, I need to bring it up to you so that we can look at it and say that, yes, this is how our society today is celebrating the failure behavior in women and in men. But because women deserve to be loved and respected, men are still evaluated based on their objective criteria because they are held to higher standards. Okay, so they, even if they want to be like women to some extent, right? And this is why we see like this transformer. I think it has something to do with it, like how many privileges women get versus men, and then a lot of men want the same privileges, so they just like, okay, I grow my kids here and, you know, like remove the penis and stuff, and I become a woman, right? Because I can select my own gender so that I can have the same benefits as women have. You see, because we evaluate socially, we evaluate women based on love, respect, and whatever she deserves, based on her being born a woman. You know, just because she's born a woman, she has the privilege. And for men, they have to earn that same kind of attitude that women get, like that respect, love, right? They have to prove themselves to the society. And it's not that women evaluate men, it's other men evaluate men. You see, so men hold each other to higher standards. This is why the burden of performance is there. This is why men have to earn what they have. Let's see what Ship is writing here. Loves marathons, but no good at running. Yeah, right? It's like me. I love walk. I can watch it for hours. You know, I can watch how men walk for hours. Okay, weekly trivia games, but gets all the questions wrong. Great job picking hobbies that you are terrible at. Yes. Thank you, Ship, for your comments. Yeah, I could practice on Beal. Not much to lose if it goes wrong. Yeah. See how delusional people have become. And I'm really struggling with the concept of how they twist the concept of self-value, self-worth. It should be based on the merit. It should be based on the objective factors that other people evaluate you, and what we will get back to them. Yeah. Okay, let's get back to the article here. We will look at another example. They actually give us another example here. And finally, consider the case of Marcus. Marcus is an excellent salesman and frequently outsells most of the other people at his company. But one coworker seems to always be just a bit ahead of him. He is always an avid squash player and frequently competes in tournaments. Sometimes he gets first or second place, but usually he doesn't place at all. Even though he is not the best at his job or at his favorite hobby, Marcus still feels that he is valuable. he thinks he's smart, talented, and successful, even though he's not the smartest, most talented, or most successful, and he's okay with that. What do you think about this example?
I mean, I think it's kind of, in a sense, it's like realistic to not beat yourself up if you're not the best. Like, even when I was practicing French horn, like, 3-4 hours a day, like, I was decent, I was good, I was not like the best horn player in the world by like any measure. But just like, and again, it comes down to like, my value, being directly linked to actions and like the hours and hours of practicing and like just doing drills over and over until it sounds good. And I can actually like, perform and people can come and enjoy it rather than having to plug their ears, and that's a way of like contributing to, the community, I guess, in a sense, just providing like pleasant experiences and like art for others to enjoy. So yeah, I mean, to some extent, it's like if you're only gonna like feel okay if you're like the absolute best in the world, and like sure, if you are the best in the world, like that's just the current best, like someone could come along. So I mean, yeah, I think like kind of working as hard as you can and like getting to like a level of competence, should be enough to like give you some self-value. But again, that's not just arbitrary, like I feel value. It's like, oh, well, I put in all this work and this is the effect of that work and others are benefiting because of that work that I put in. Like, okay, like I can feel all right about myself as a person, like, but I mean, yeah, you can never be the best. And so that's, I think one of the things that motivates you to like always keep trying,
Yeah, even if you are not the best, you need to try to be the best, you see. But I noticed in colleges today and in schools, we see like the worst possible student out there. Okay, and we kind of evaluate everyone and average everyone out, even if there are good performers out there. So instead of trying to push everyone towards the high performer level, right, the strongest students in the classroom, we downgrade everyone towards the base level of that person who maybe is not putting enough effort into understanding certain things, who is a lazy student, right, who is not actually even interested in the topic, in the activity. And I saw it when I was teaching Spanish to kids. We would have like 1 week student, and then the school wanted me to actually like adjust the activity so that that one person out of 15 students would enjoy it. I'm like, no, I'm not doing it, because I see the potential. I see the strong students out there, and there were a couple of good people who were putting effort, who were doing their homework, who were taking it seriously, right? I would much rather spend my time to help out those who actually want to be helped, those who are interested in Spanish, right? And then the rest of the students, they will be like, oh, look at them, they get good grades, they get good attitude, they get some leverage in the class, right? And then it motivates other students as well. But today in our society, what I notice in schools and in colleges, even if teachers, there are a few good teachers out there who are trying to push this, they get suppressed by the school, and then the school tells them like, no, you can't do this, everybody is unique and special, and you have to treat everyone with respect, and it doesn't matter what the student does. And that student was actually very disrespectful, not just towards me, but also towards everybody else. He would never show up on time, he would make noise, he would disrupt others, and it's enough to have like one scapegoat like that in the group setting, you know what I mean, to disrupt like the full flow of the class. And yeah, it was something that I had to deal with, very frustrating, because legally there is not much you can do there, except for I
Right.
did kick him out once because he really like blew up my patience. And yeah, I was just like, okay, you're out of here. I don't want to see you. And don't come back to the class. Yeah, I got in trouble for doing this in school, So yeah. Was
yeah, I mean
Guillermo. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, okay, let's finish the article. We will go back to it. We'll see what else, what tips she gives to, and then we'll look at sexual market value really quickly. Okay, so how to find self-value and self-worth. Be sure to encourage them to understand and accept their own self-worth. Okay, if a person is just full of shit, sorry, right? He is totally misbehaving and totally disrespectful towards everybody else. Oh, you still need to encourage him or her and be nice to her. Reinforce their value as a being rather than a doing. And as some say, in other words, make sure they know that they are valuable for who they are, not what they do. I'm having problem with this, for who they are. You can be an animal if you don't overpower your emotions and your animal instincts with the neocortex brain. You can behave like a raw animal out there, and you still get like, oh, you are that, right? Embrace yourself. And what feminism is effectively doing here, it tells women that it's okay to have raw female nature, which is uncontrolled. Just embrace it and enhance it. So it inspires women to behave in this animalistic way.
Well, even animals like know their place like in their animal culture and society for the most part and contribute like as they're supposed to. I mean, in terms of that, like non-human animals tend to do better than human ones.
Yeah, I
Like,
would agree with that. Yeah, well, what it tells them is
You have to be held accountable. Sorry.
Go ahead.
You have to be held accountable, and for what you do. So it's
it tells them it's okay to be like this. Expose yourself, scream at the man, be a complete whore out there, and then expect good attitude from everybody else. Everybody loves and respects you for who you are just because you were born a woman. This is not how life works, ladies. Okay, here, provide unconditional love, respect, and positive regard. I was actually told this. Dealing with that problematic student, the school told me that you are not dealing with him as a professional teacher. And I'm like, because I'm not a professional teacher. The answer is simple. I'm not going to tolerate bullshit behavior. I'm going to call it out. And if people misbehave, they should be called out. They should be held accountable to their own actions. If he got pulled out of the class, ask him what he did wrong, right? And there were girls who were also misbehaving, but they got scared because I did it to one student. And then it's like, when you punish one person for bad behavior, it serves as a lesson to other people who are trying to behave the same way, because monkeys see, monkeys do, right? People are pack animals, let's say. They watch how other people behave, especially if you talk about women, right? They love company. And we only need to punish like a few women in our society, but like a good chunk of women actually, because most women are delusional today. For other women to see and then maybe adjust and say, okay, maybe what they are doing doesn't really work. Okay, and then it says here, give adolescents opportunity to experience success. So does it mean that you give them prizes when they haven't earned those prizes?
Oh, we have that in the UK. For real. Kids at like primary school, and I don't know about secondary school, but if there's like a race, everybody gets a certificate. You get a participation certificate.
Yeah.
I'm not joking you. So yeah, what you're not learning failure, are you? You know, that you came last, because you'll still get a certificate.
I think that's one of the reasons why, like, I personally don't think that like athletics and academia should have ever been, you know, interwoven the way that they are. You see with like, you know, college and high school sports and stuff. It's like, it's just the stupidest thing. I wish it just wasn't even a thing. But yeah, I think like, especially like, I don't know, service organizations and groups like clubs for kids where like they can work on a project and have it come to fruition. And yeah, I think that that's important. Like, give them an opportunity to work on something, and you know, like whether it succeeds or not is like somewhat in their hands. You're not going to guarantee the success, but you know, giving them the tools and like some guidance to accomplish something. Like one of the service clubs at like a high school here, they came up with the idea all on their own. They're like, we want to start like a little like loan closet. It's in a definitely a poor part of town, but just where kids can go and like borrow a nice outfit to wear to an interview or like a, you know, for a job or college thing. And you know, they've been like writing grants and like, you know, getting donations of like clothing and racks and stuff. And so it's like, you know, a huge success. So I think like giving them the opportunity, like providing a platform where it's like, okay, well, here's a space where you guys can meet up together and discuss. But, you know, providing the opportunity is different than just handing over an award for no effort, you know?
Yeah.
And I do think that it is important to like provide opportunities, whether it's, yeah, doing like a service thing or, you know, just even like going on a weekend like backcountry backpacking trip, you know, for like a high schooler. That's like a big thing that can like give them a big boost to like confidence. It's like they actually did do something though. They actually did like pack in all their stuff and set up camp and like prepare their own food. And it's like, yeah, I can do it. I can like survive on my own. Like I'm a big kid now.
Yeah,
but
right.
again, that's providing opportunities is different than just providing an award for no effort. Like the award is like taking advantage of the opportunity and making the most of it, and that should be award enough.
True. And also, if we are talking about women here, there is a time frame, and like when you're talking about the opportunities, women will run out of the opportunities. They will run themselves out of the opportunities. So the opportunities will not be presented to them eventually if they are stupid, you know, with their sexual market value, and they waste themselves, right? Nobody will want them eventually. And I know
there's
that
always someone out there, but yeah, typically like women do tend to kind of like over evaluate like their, you know, attractiveness and their likability. I think is a big one, you know, and a lot of times they think like, oh, just because I'm attractive, I can be like a lazy, nasty bitch and guys are still gonna want me. It's like, yeah, maybe for a bit, but it's not gonna probably last super long. Like if you have a decent guy, like if some dude who's just like, using you and like, you know, just they're probably using you and a whole bunch of other women, and it's like, you know, I guess that's a game some people want to play. But
let's look at the sexual market value just to sum it up. And here is another article. I actually haven't read it, so we are going to glance at it. Yeah, sexual market value. Here you go. So women should marry when they are about 18 years of age, and men at 7 and 30.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I don't understand this. Then they are in the prime of life, and the decline in the powers of both will coincide.
That's
Aristotle.
Oh, maybe
an
it's a weird
Aristotle quote, so it's written in old language. So the woman,
37.
Oh, 37. 37.
But no,
Okay,
7
okay.
is too young to get married.
I'm like 7 and 30. I'm like, it's almost like German way to say,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. 18, 37 makes sense, actually. Yeah. See,
Although
back
I feel like
then.
with culture
Go ahead.
nowadays, it's so different. And like, I mean, the guys that I know that are like in their mid 30s, like they want nothing to do with a 20-year-old, just because like 20-year-olds today are so, just their brains are so warped from like being raised on social media, and they just have a totally different outlook. Like there's a huge like cultural gap, and just like generational gap between like 37-year-old guys and 18-year-old girls who are like, yeah, some of my guys that have been looking for women, like they just like, oh hell no, like some chick in like her early 20s is not even something they would consider. Like they would rather date a woman in their 50s than a girl in their 20s, just because of like,
Wow.
yeah, the difference in how their minds works. And that could also be like a geologic thing, like in the inland, like people are far more concerned with finding a bug out buddy than they are like an Instagram model. Like they really don't. People have different kind of and I guess factors that they value in terms of like finding a mate. And so I'm assuming anywhere you go in the world or in the United States, depending on kind of the cultural climate, people are going to have different criteria for like mate selection. But yeah, definitely, at least like everyone I know, like men in that age range they wouldn't even want to. I mean, yeah, if woman's like anywhere below like 27, it's like, oh hell no. Like I'll take a few wrinkles over like someone who's just like Instagram obsessed and like can't relate to me and like just has no life experience. And
yeah, appearance is important, but it's not the only thing that men want in a woman, right? So let's look at here. Sexual market value refers to how desirable an individual is in the dating power or dating market. A woman's SMV comes from, okay, sorry, a man's SMV comes like from men's. I'm reading. A woman's SMV comes from his ability. I was like, okay, no, wrong. A man's SMV comes from his ability to provide security, right? And then a woman's, and then it's cut out. I'm not sure. It's probably okay. A woman's SMV comes from her ability to provide children. True. Also, who evaluates the sexual market value of the person? Who evaluates woman's sexual market value? Because if she, and this is where feminists get in trouble, and also the threat con women, the conservatives, they conflate these two terms. They confuse the sexual market value with the self-worth, self-value. So they say that just because I make money, I deserve this guy, or I'm attractive, right? I'm attractive, but she's evaluating herself based on how men would evaluate men, actually, right? Or based on your ability to provide the money. Money is irrelevant. Your degrees are irrelevant, right? Your core purpose, the core purpose of a woman is the ability to provide children. How fertile are you, and how attractive you are. I know it sounds mean and harsh, and we can like play around with this ones, and a lot of men go for older women with a few wrinkles. rather than younger, super hot models out there. But beauty standards are actually quite objective for women, right? You have to be healthy. You don't have to be like a supermodel out there, but decently looking, right? Men don't really care about your resources unless they are Don Juan type of men, unless they say that they want an equal partner, assuming that you will bear the equal amount of responsibility. But even then, you as a woman, you get fed up with this man because they're like totally feminist men, and you don't actually want to be with the feminist men who would treat you as an equal partner. Now, would you? So, yeah. Okay. This was a short one. Well, let me stop sharing it so that we can talk about it a little bit. Yeah. Oh, we have Joshua.
Yeah, and I'll probably have to one soon.
Yeah. So, who determines male sexual market value?
I mean, really, it's the market value. The market's always going to be determining the value. Like, that's just the nature of it. So, like, men are going to determine, the value of women, and women are going to determine the value of men. And again, like, that can change culturally. Again, like in the inland, like, women are probably, again, going to be a lot of times more interested in, like, a bug out buddy than someone who's a stockbroker with a ton of money. Because it's like, who cares if you got like resources in the bank? Like, once Y2K hits, like, everyone's on their own, and like, you want someone who's going to be able to help you survive without any financial resources, because that's gonna, that's how things would be. So yeah, again, it's just, the value is determined by the market that you're in. I guess it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with the market that you're in.
True. It has nothing to do
It
with
is
your
gonna vary.
self-worth, self-value. And look, men hold other men to higher standards, right? So men can say, okay, this man has high value. He has high network, right? He makes money, and therefore we want to be like him, or we want to be friends with him. This signals to women also. So if you look at it, like, men actually determine the value, the sexual market value for both men and women, because then women are not looking at somebody who lives at mom's basement, right? Women want the man who is surrounded by other men who are resourceful, who are intelligent, right? Who has high network, and the man who is attractive to not just women but also other men, because these other men want to be friends with him, right? So when we look at sexual market value, and I know it's going to make mad a lot of women out there, men are determining it. They are determining it both for men and for women. You see? So woman's word is like, oh, but I look at the man because he's attractive, and it's like, why is he attractive? Why are you attracted to a certain type of man? It's because other men have set higher standards for this guy to achieve. This is why you are attracted to him, because somebody else, the man, they are either within his network or they are not. They want to be like him. And this is why you are attracted to him. It's not because like, oh, but I have these standards like installed in me. Yeah, the society has told you that. Your mom has told you that. Maybe, your grandma. If you were lucky to have a grandma who would teach you how to be in a family and what to pursue in your future husband, right? What to look for. They are setting these standards for you, and they are doing it because other men have high expectations from men. You see, it's interesting how all of the like self-worth, self-value, and then sexual market value, all of it is determined by men. It's like women don't determine anything. Women are just like they're like, okay, I like it because other men find this man valuable, right? They look at the network of this guy, and if he has wealthy, respectable people surrounding him, women will be attracted to this man. You see, it's not just like, oh, pre-selection, okay, other women find this man attractive, but women are all women, you know, you can't take female nature from any of us, you know, we will still be attracted to the man who was expected to perform to the higher standard by other men out there. So men have set those standards for us too. You see my point? Yeah. It's fascinating. I really love this topic. We might get back to the same topic, guys, next week. I hope that I'll get my presentation and we will actually get into the debunking of some stuff on Instagram and also maybe on YouTube. So come join us. Okay. And remember to please like, share, and subscribe. Follow Emma, follow Melody if she lets you in. She has a private account there. There you go.
In like a month, but yeah.
I know. You've been busy. You've been so busy. Yeah, we will figure out if we will run the Kundalini Kriya class for you tomorrow. Let's just stay in touch, ladies, and I'll keep you posted, guys. It's a very fun practice. Emma sent it to me a few days
doing that
ago.
one, don't worry.
Yeah, I know, but I was like, oh gosh, I kind of miss that feeling. So I think it would be good if we put a community class for you once in a while, okay?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be this week. Melody, if you can't make it, we can do it next week, okay? Okay, guys, it was really fun talking to you ladies. Thank you so much, Melody. Thank you, Emma. You always make my work so much more enjoyable. And yeah, I hope to see you next time. And let me take us out of here.
Good seeing
Take
you
care,
guys.
everyone.
Don't forget
Bye.
the cookies.
Oh,
Bye-bye.
cookies. Oh my god. Don't remind me. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.